Hey guys, welcome back to Conversations. I'm your host, Ryan.
Song.
Jesse.
And today's guest is a Korean American actor who's been in the game for the past 20 plus years. He's appeared in multiple movies and TV shows with roles ranging from a North Korean astronaut named Jeon Ju in For All of Mankind, to a airbending master, Avatar Roku, in Avatar The Last Airbender, which is currently on Netflix. Yep. But I know him best as the lovable, oddball forensic specialist, Vince Masuka, for 8 seasons on the hit TV show Dexter. You can watch it and rewatch it on Showtime and Paramount Plus. Got to throw that little plug for you.
And Netflix.
And Netflix.
Yes.
Oh, Netflix now? Dope.
Yeah, we're binging.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got C.S. Lee in the building.
Yay!
Hey, welcome. First timer, huh?
First time
First
here.
time on our pod.
Yeah, on your pod, on any pod.
Any pod. Well, thank you for
popping that chair with us.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to like big things in front of my mouth.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, you got to get used to it. You know, you got to get used to it. Just remember to always keep it in front of your face.
Okay.
That's like,
I'll just
for the
follow
good
you.
money
I just
shot.
follow you.
Just don't put your mouth on it.
So how are you? How's your day? Thank you for
I'm
stopping
good. I'm
by.
good. You know, I actually met my North Korean wife today on the set of For All Mankind. We had a photo shoot.
Oh, nice.
Had to do some photos just about family kind of photos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking happy and stuff. And
Now, for people who don't watch For All Mankind, what is it like center around? What is it like?
It's a revisionist series about the space race. And in this version, the Russians got to the moon first. And it's a very interesting series because every season jumps 10 years. So the actors get older, the technology gets better. So in that aspect, if you're kind of a space nerd, this is right up your alley.
It's on Apple
TV.
Yeah. So
Apple
you gotta have
TV.
Apple TV.
Yep.
Sign up for something and get that free Apple TV.
Please help Apple
trial.
TV. They're hurting right now. I heard like
Yeah.
Apple TV, they're just hurt. Like no one watches them. The Netflix is just
They
a
give it for
monster
free
right now.
sometimes, like a year, and like I
Maybe,
never
yeah.
watched it
I
once.
know. Yeah.
I do have a friend that bootlegs stuff. That's why. So it's like hard, it's easier to just get
We
stuff.
are a bootleg generation, so it's hard for us to,
streaming, right?
for streaming.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, come on. Back in my day, we were bootlegging music, LimeWire, Napster, all that kind of stuff.
Napster, I remember
It
that.
never stops.
They're like, people are like, what? No, actually, the demographic of our listeners they're like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, they all know, yeah. For our listeners, I'm sure like people who know who you are, as far as your acting side, like, but they don't know who you are, like where you come from, and I don't know like your full story. I read it, but like if you can give us a little breakdown, because I'm sure like some,
Yes, I'll be dead honest with you. I heard great things about it from Jess and Rai. Did see some of the shows as well, so I'm very intrigued, and I'm glad you're here. You are one of the hot targets that we're looking for. And I'm glad. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Obviously I know Jess, and I'm grateful for her to bust my first cast.
Yes. Cast.
There you go.
It wasn't too hard, but
Yeah, so quick background. Cut to a small village in Korea.
I love it.
Little town called Cheongju. I was born in Cheongju, where both sides of my family come from, and I grew up in very poor with like dirt yard and dog and outhouse, and like I remember like going to the outhouse, and like we had one of those wells to get water. Mm-hmm. That's the way I grew up. We weren't very well off, but we did. We had a big house. My grandma had a big house, and as soon as I was born, my dad came to the States to get his green card. So I didn't see my dad for the first like 4 years, and then when I was 4, finally, he got his green card, and we immigrated to Hawaii because his aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle, they lived in Waianae in Hawaii. So imagine this: a 4-year-old from Korea, with coming from a house with no electricity, barely, like maybe one light bulb. I land in Hawaii. Next thing I know, I'm in Waikiki Beach eating watermelon, eating
Oh my
kalbi on the
gosh.
beach. I'm like, this is America. I'm in paradise. What the hell?
Like, why were you keeping me?
I
back
know. Why
there?
did we come
Like,
sooner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So unfortunately, that trip, that Hawaii trip, only lasted like a year because my dad had ties to Alaska because he worked on the Alaska pipeline.
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Amazing.
So I was only in Waikiki for I want to say maybe 6, 7, 8 months,
Yeah.
and we went from Hawaii to freaking Alaska.
To freezing your
Cold
balls.
as shit. Yeah, and then so from in Alaska, I went to kindergarten and first grade
Okay.
for like 2 years, and then finally we moved to Washington State when I was in second grade, and that's pretty much where I grew up. Washington State from second grade through high school. Me and a bunch of rednecks, white people. I didn't
Yeah.
have any
Yeah, I
Asian
was wondering.
friends.
There's no
there's
Asian
no. Yeah,
demographic
I
there.
grew up in a very blue collar town, Vancouver, Washington, and grew up playing football, basketball, with a bunch of white people, white folks, and they were my best friends, and to this day, my corporation name is called Yellow Trash Productions
Wait,
because I grew up with a bunch of white trash
Yo, that's
kids.
hilarious.
Yeah.
so did you not have to like learn Korean or keep the Korean thing up, or did you just speak Korean only at
no,
home?
I didn't learn Korean. I spoke Korean, luckily, and that's how I am still able to speak low level Korean to my parents because I spoke Korean to my parents. But I was one of those kids that we went to church, but we didn't really go to church. I didn't do a whole lot of church things. I was more involved with school activities, mainly basketball and football, and that's pretty much what kept me out of fights because I was on the basketball team.
Because you had
and the
all
football
friends that are
team.
black and
Yeah,
white.
yeah. And then I was
Huge.
untouchable, right? I mean, that's how I survived. But yeah, that's Washington State. That's pretty much my hometown.
So when you were growing up, you were just playing sports, like you weren't doing any drama club. or anything like that?
No. Drama stuff didn't come until maybe sophomore year in high school, I guess.
Oh.
But yeah, up until then, I was just a white trash Asian kid growing up,
I love it.
and it wasn't until maybe freshman year, sophomore year in high school, I got interested in watching films.
Oh.
And
What kind of films?
and it was because of football, actually, because when I got on the football team, the seniors, there were these two seniors, they were in theater, and it was a weird. I was like, you
like
guys are
American Pie.
you guys are jocks, but
Yeah.
you like doing theater, and I kind of found that fascinating.
They diversified
Yeah.
there.
I guess,
Girls.
yeah.
This is really to get girls,
The
right? What do we do
extracurriculars
anything
that
in
they
high
need to
school
get.
for? So.
No, they got the girls too.
Yeah,
though.
that's
That's the thing. I
It
mean,
is-
yeah,
it
they,
is true,
yeah.
yeah.
And so that was right around the time I think I started getting a little bit of self-identity crisis. I was like, what? Who am I?
Yeah.
Why am I hanging out with all these white people? How come I don't have any Asian friends, Asian American friends? Like I literally didn't have any Asian American friends. I didn't have any Asian American friend until I was 30 when I moved to New York.
Wow, that's nuts.
So for 30 years, you had no Asian friend.
No
You
Asian
had
friends.
no Asian identity besides what was
Yeah.
in your household.
Yeah, and in school I had the smattering of like 2 or 3 Asian American people.
Okay, so there's some.
But I was never friends with them.
Yeah, yeah. I
I could
understand.
tell. I'm not gonna lie. Just distinctly tell you just talking right now. You do.
What,
you
I
sound
speak
so
like a white-
American, Like you don't have that little
Bro,
accent. You know.
Bro, I was gonna say the same thing about you, man. What's going on? You know, like if I heard your voice and didn't see you, I'd be like, "Who's that white guy?"
Really,
that big
does.
white guy.
Because you know what?
Who's
Yeah,
that white guy trying to be a black guy?
No, because I yeah, you too. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got a little bit of urban accent. But Ryan, my ear is pretty good because I'm, trained, whatever. Although my accents aren't that great, but yeah, you have a little bit more of the Asian Korean K-Town accent. You have a little K-Town accent.
Yeah,
you
know,
a
it's
little
funny.
bit, just a
Yeah,
little bit.
twang.
I have a mixture of that and like LA and Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm from Texas, so I
Yeah.
say y'all.
That's right.
And like,
That's right.
I have a little bit of a twang. I say chips and dip. Like my wife always makes fun of me, but yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty spot on. I am basic Korean
I
K-Town guy.
Totally can hear. I can hear that now.
The typical talking.
I can hear that
Hey,
now.
can
Yeah.
you get a shot?
And him, you're like
I'm
you're.
from Virginia originally.
Oh, maybe
I.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you mean honestly, sometimes I make a joke. He sounds like he has peanut butter in his mouth because like he
Yeah,
talks so fast.
He doesn't have that little biggie. He had that little biggie.
I'm sorry. I was born to dream, right?
You know, it's because he speaks fast too. I was born to dream.
No, but what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna. So okay. So you were not Koreanized. So was you said 10th grade or something, right? But was that the dream? That wasn't the dream though, right? Was it to be an actor? Like
no, initially, initially I wanted to be a film director. And I'll tell you why. Because there was this one moment we had a double feature at the Kiggins Theater, and every small town has a theater that you go see films on the weekends, right? With the football team or whatever, and you go chase girls or boys, what have you. And there was one woman, I think it was a double feature, and I'm pretty sure it was an old time movie called Cannery Row. Cannery Row, you can look it up. It's with okay, who's the father? Oh my God. I think it had
Deborah Winger, Nick Nolte.
Oh, it was Nick Nolte.
There you go.
Okay, Deborah Winger. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's Deborah Winger now.
Yeah, but it's a based on a famous book.
Yeah, it's a famous book.
Steinbeck.
Yeah, it's
Steinbeck. Cannery Row.
Okay.
So, anyways, I'm sitting in the theater with all my football buddies, and there's this like emotional scene that comes up, and I kind of look over to my right, and I see like a couple of my offensive linemen kind of like totally into it, like kind of teary-eyed. I'm like, wow, and I'm like, I can't believe this film is making them feel this way.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. I was like, wow, the power of film. So then I just started watching all sorts of films. I would just go to the video store, this is like in the late 80s, and rent just movies upon movies upon movies. And I just started watching tons of films. And I realized, you know what? I want to make my own movie because I want to affect people like this.
Yeah.
Bring people together, soften them up. You know what I mean? And that's where the dream started.
That's where that dream started.
Yeah, that's where the dream
It's cool
started.
that you remember the movie though, like that.
Yeah.
Like that was so impactful that way. Yeah.
Were your parents always supported for this role?
Oh yeah, my parents were always working. They were blue collar workers. They were never around. They didn't care. They literally they never came to watch a football game.
Oh man.
Maybe once they came to see a play I did in high school. Later on in
good.
Senior year.
Yeah.
That's cool because most parents would want you to be like a doctor or an engineer or.
So initially I wanted to become a engineer, an MIT engineer, because my dad was a car mechanic. So he was always by trade. He fixed cars in Korea growing up. He always had neighbors' cars, his friends' cars, like he was working on them. So I was very handsy, good with tools, and I thought, oh okay, maybe I should just go to MIT and become like an inventor. I wanted to be an inventor.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
I actually had a dream similar. I would want to be a fabricator for movie sets. So not inventing stuff, but not building stuff that actually works, but it just looks like it works.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm smart enough to actually figure out the real mechanics, but to do like the fabrications for sets. I actually wanted to do that when I was younger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just
never heard
had
anyone have that as their dream.
Yeah,
so that's pretty amazing.
I mean, I had something similar to that too, and Jessica relate to it. I always wanted to write a movie.
Yeah.
I always felt like, when you die, like you want to be left with something, right? And I always wanted to like have like a legacy, like a movie.
Damn, you thought of that young?
I wasn't in 10th grade. I thought about this when I was like 17 or so. And I remember me and Jen.
It's like
11th grade. That's like 11th grade.
That's 11th grade. That's a year later.
I was in 11th grade.
not 10th grade.
But I remember when I
grade?
first told Jess that, I remember Jess had the whole, she came down, I was like, let's sit down and write this. I'll be honest with you, I just sort of just lost track with it being so busy and everything else. But that was always one of those things I always wanted to do. Ever since I was with my mom, I was like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to make a movie. And they're like, why? I was like, because if I die, I want them to remember who I am. I'm not sure if the movie be good or bad, but just like how Biggie and Tupac, their music still lives on. Yeah, I always wanted something like that. So when you said that, you totally got all my ears. Right.
Yes, my son made a movie and it sucked. It was terrible. We lost our house on it. But he made it.
But he learned.
Let me ask you. You said you played football in high school. What position? Because I'm a big football person.
Yeah. So I played. I started playing in 4th grade, and I. In junior high, I started playing running back.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: in junior high, by 7th grade, I had grown to how 5'6" now. I'm 5'6", probably 135 pounds. And all the black kids and the white kids, they still hadn't reached puberty yet.
They didn't hit their growth
Yeah.
spurt. Yeah.
So I'm 7th grade, 8th grade. I had over 1,000-yard seasons, bro. I was running over people. I mean, kids. They were babies.
Yeah.
I was like literally, you know what I mean? And like my 7th, 8th, 9th grade, those were my heyday. I was like running over people. And then what happened was when I went to 9th grade, because 9th grade was first year of high school for me.
Yeah.
Then the kids started getting bigger.
caught up to you.
Yeah, they caught up to me. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
CS,
Well,
what's
yeah.
going on?
Yeah, literally like within a summer, like after
Yeah.
a summer, they come back.
That's how it was for guys. 'Cause,
That's
like,
how it-
I would date guys, and then they're like small, and then all of a sudden in the summer would come back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. And then I look at their backs, like, because you go swimming, and they're, the back, it stretches. So they have all these stretch marks that are so long because they grew their spurt.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I
I
look
don't
at other
think I
people's
got it. I
guys'
don't think I
backs.
had
but
that.
Yeah, that's good to
I'm
know.
very physical. I like to look at people.
I'm gonna start
you
looking at
know.
guys. It's like,
I
oh,
mean, you have stretch marks, but that's
You
from
for
something
sure
else.
have to have
Hey,
stretch
no,
I have
no,
stretch
just
marks,
kidding.
yeah.
See, well, that's the same
No,
as what
just
we're
kidding.
talking
No.
about.
But I have
You
stretch
do.
marks in the belly area, so not in my back.
I never got them. I don't think I had growth spurts like that. I think I grew at a
So you're just naturally this
Just
big.
regular rate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I had one where it was
I
like,
had a huge growth spurt. I was like so big. I was so tall by like 5th, 6th grade.
Oh, you were
And
early
then
sprouter.
I was so early, and then I wanted to, we were talking about my sister, I did cheerleading, and I was so excited because I wanted to be the girl that got thrown in the air. And
oh, no.
then
You're like, no, you're the base.
Yeah,
I'll show you the picture on the base
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
you're
They throw Justin there and he falls
everybody's
down.
this much shorter than me, and I was like, I'm out. Like, and then I could never get thrown. I was pissed, but yeah, growth
Hilarious.
spurts, man.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry, it's not gonna happen because DPD is not gonna be able to do that either.
Yeah, ain't nobody picking me up.
Just kidding. Yeah. So did you did you quit? Like when you got into high school?
Yeah,
then?
so by 9th grade, the kids were outgrowing me and being stronger and faster, and so then I switched to quarterback because 9th grade team, we didn't have a quarterback, and I was like, well, I can throw the ball, and by default, I became the quarterback.
Amazing, because you're like the only Asian guy, and then the Asian guy's the quarterback. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
I know.
amazing.
Yeah, a little bit. So I mean, I wasn't.
I mean, it's Washington. It's like pretty
It's-
good. It's pretty good. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I know. I'm totally kidding.
And I wasn't the greatest quarterback, but I could throw it better than in most guys. So,
Yeah, that's what matters.
but by the time sophomore year came around, I was JV, and then the backup quarterback to the varsity, sophomore, junior year. But by that point, I was starting to do theater in high school because I thought I should learn about acting if I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
That's when the dream started, and so I started taking drama class and started doing like Shakespeare plays. And my first ever role was actually called a play called The Foreigner.
How fitting.
Yeah. It's
In Washington.
it's a famous play, actually. It's a famous play. It's an old timer, maybe from the 50s, 60s, I want to say. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's an older play. But my first ever role was playing a KKK Ku Klux Klansman.
Shut.
This is like the
yes.
craziest
I had
story. love
I had
this.
no lines.
Yeah.
All I
Just
did
wore
was
the
come
hood.
out, with the hood, with the white hood, and do all that, and then the look on the audience's faces at the end when we come out for a curtain call. I take my and I got Asian guy underneath the KKK mask. That was my first ever role.
I think that's awesome because at that time, they were just putting anywhere where they could fit best role, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best actor for that role.
Yeah.
And that was you.
But you
But
did a great
was
job.
me.
You
I
played a
love
great
though
job.
that you didn't have an ego, because like people have a dream and they have a vision and they're like, I won't take this, I won't do that. Even with the small roles, when you're starting, it's like you're starting, you just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'll be the KKK
No,
guy.
I was like, yeah, whatever,
Like
just
the
give it to
KKK,
me.
the leader.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, so that was my first ever, as a young adult. I mean, I had one other role in 4th grade, which was Sleeping Beauty, and
Where
of
were you?
course,
Don't tell me you were Sleeping Beauty.
no.
Okay.
Oh, I was like,
was-
you got it.
No.
Yeah.
He
Sleepy.
took every role. He
No,
took every role.
it was Sleeping Beauty the musical.
Angry?
No, I was
Grumpy,
sleepy.
Oh, you were sleeping. That's what I thought. That's what I
okay.
thought.
And
Sleeping.
yeah, I mean,
Guys?
and I didn't think. Well, I didn't think of it
yeah.
at the time until I was an adult. I was like, I was like, damn. I was like, dang, Mrs. Buck, why did you cast me as sleepy? I was like, because of my eyes.
Would you rather be sleepy or goofy?
I would have rather been goofy, but you know, I
Dude,
mean,
Sleepy is so
you know,
racist.
Yeah, that's so indirect racism.
I don't know, you know.
She was white.
Yeah, she's a white
She
woman.
put the
It
hood
sounds
on.
like they weren't thinking
Yeah.
of race at that time. They were just being
No, but
inclusion.
actually, Mrs. Buck was one of my momentive experiences of having a white teacher growing up. I think we've all had this kind of experience. Was you know, one time there was some stuff happening at my home, and she knew I was kind of in distress, and you know, she started talking to me, and I, you know, told her what was happening, and I remember distinctly Mrs. Buck, who became rich from winning the slots in Vegas.
Shut up.
Yeah, she won like $100,000 or something. Back then, that was a lot of money.
$100,000 bucks.
But she sat me down. She said, Charlie, you live in America now, and you're not Asian, you're not Korean, you're an American. And like that hit me so hard. Like that was like one of the first like ding moments where like, oh yeah, I'm an American. I'm not Asian anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So that was
Very
Mrs.
impactful.
Buck. I'm
And then
pretty
she
sure
put you
we-
as a real sleepy.
and then she,
You are American, but you're sleepy.
by the way,
Well,
wanna play
actually,
Sleepy?
I have a surprise. We have Mrs. Buck here.
Oh my God, you're like 120 years old.
we
Brought her back from
we dug her up.
We born
Yeah.
her
She
dreams.
wanted to say how proud she was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you know you've done so many roles. You know, I've seen you know you played a cop, a Dr. Gangster. Like I wanted to, do you feel like you've been typecasted, or do you get typecasted?
I think everyone gets typecasted.
You think everyone
yeah,
does?
everyone gets typecasted, and that's, you know what, it's really humans naturally typecast.
Do you think typecasting has a negative connotation to it?
No, I don't think it has a negative connotation. I mean, I think it can be used in a bad way, and when it does, it's not fun. You know what gets me out of the typecasting is the fact that I'm willing to do the work, take the leap, try something else, even if it makes me look like a fool. One time I had a Star Trek audition, like a Klingon. And listen to me. I'm not a big Star Trek fan per se, but I grew up watching Star Trek, the old, you know, William Shatner, and I really wanted to do an episode of Star Trek. Right, this was like maybe 10 years ago, and I was working in New York on Power, by the way. My manager was like, "Hey, here's a script. Go, you know, do it." And it said basically it was like a 2-page, 3-page scene, but it was in Klingon language. But it was obviously English, right?
Yeah,
Phonetic.
So I'm confused. I mean, do I talk in English or do I talk in Klingon?
Okay.
Which I don't know.
Yeah.
So I asked my manager, and he's like, I don't know, bro. Just do whatever. I'm like, okay.
Your
So-
manager said that?
Yeah. I mean, so I go into the office, and it's me and this other guy. He's a, you know, he's a dude, and he's like, do you have any questions? I'm like, no, I think I'm good. I think let's do it. He's like, okay. So I went full retard.
I can't believe it.
I just did the whole Klingon thing, and with the hand gestures, you know, I just did it.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and I literally did that, and like I felt great about it. And at the end, he's like, okay, and he just stared at me for like 5 seconds, like, and I'm like, do you want me to do it again? He's like, no, that's good. I think we have all we need.
You're like, so where's my trailer?
So either to this day, I don't know if he was thoroughly impressed or thoroughly disgusted. But somewhere out there, there's tape of me
I wish you
talking
could
in
see
made-up
this.
Klingon
So
language.
bad. Oh
I
my
just went
God.
full. I was like, fuck, I really want to do it. You know?
You committed, and
I
that's
committed.
what's important as an actor is that you commit, because you never know. Sometimes you get notes and they tell you something, and then even how you translate that still comes off differently, right?
That's right.
So I love that you went forward.
That's
I
right. You know,
appreciate that.
you're right, Jess.
It is.
What makes a good actor is actors who can commit.
Yeah, you have to commit.
Even if you
That's what's
look
so
like
good
a
about
fool,
you.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because people see that.
Exactly.
No, when you're not a good actor, is actors who can't commit,
Exactly.
and they do a soft ass. You know,
Yeah.
you get a note, and then they kind of do the same thing over. You're like, dude, didn't you hear the note? You
Yeah.
gotta change what you're doing.
He did, I don't know. Who knows what happened? But
yeah.
I wish I could see that
I know.
video.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
would-
want to see that video right now.
I know.
I
I want to
would
see that again too.
die.
But I mean, so you know, the question you asked me, you know, in my 20+ year career, I've done various different roles, but I think that's what got me by and got me work consistently was because I was willing to commit
Yeah.
and do stuff that the other actors can't they don't get it. You know, when a director gives you direction, you got to be able to take that direction and do it.
I'm just gonna shoot out some. You did 8 seasons, of course, Dexter, right? You
Yeah.
did East New York 10 episodes, Chicago Med 6 episodes, Power 5 episodes. You're still on For All Mankind right now, 9 episodes. You were on Brother Sun, which was new. Silicon Valley, Avatar, which just came out, and your Avatar Roku, Cobra Kai, which just came out too. So you just went to the premiere for the newest season.
Yeah, Master Kim.
Yes, Master Kim, The Bookie.
I like that show.
Yeah, and then
I'm a huge Maniscalco fan.
super fun because I have friends on it. Warrior, because Chen's on there too.
Yeah.
And then you have scenes with Chen on that, so that's dope. And then you did Family Guy. You did voiceovers. He was in The Sopranos. And then Grand Theft Auto, you did all these voiceovers there too.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. Like his credits are ridiculous. Yeah, like he was even on Stepford Wives, the movie. Like I love that movie. Yeah,
that's one that you might not recognize me
I'm
because
gonna go back
I
to
had
watch it.
hair. I had hair back then, or what little hair I had. That was right before I shaved my head, by the way. And that gig actually was supposed to be only 6 weeks, but there were so many stars on that show, on that movie.
That was amazing.
It ended up being 13 weeks.
Wow.
And I got lucky because I got paid. I was on a weekly contract.
Oh, sweet.
Meaning
They paid you
like
more?
meaning the guys that were on the Schedule F, which is like a buyout basically, they got paid the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I kept getting paid because it kept going and going and going.
Like a stretch
And-
to 14, 15
Yeah,
weeks, guys.
I know.
Let's
Just
stretch it.
like
So it was your contract like this week, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we need you for another week."
Yeah,
Oh, we
it
need
just
you
it just
so you
kept
just kept on
extended.
renewing that,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're like,
So
Nicole
Why not,
keep
right?
messing it
Sure.
up.
no, yeah, I ended up making so much money on that. Nicole Kidman was on that film, and one time I show up and in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, hey, just chillax. We're just getting things together," and like 2 hours go by, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? Are we gonna start working or what?" And like, well, we lost track of Nicole. We can't find her.
Does that sound like Tom Cruise? When
Yeah,
I don't-
yeah,
it sounded like
yeah,
Tom.
yeah.
Like, did you ask Tom Cruise? Like,
That's just my like AD voice, whatever. And then so like 2-3 more hours go by. She doesn't show up till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And when we were supposed to start at like 8 a.m. And what happened was she was down the block at a movie theater watching a film. She was like,
just
you know,
didn't
because
care?
no, there was so much going on with that film in terms of like the egos and like just the storyline and like, gosh, you know what? That was, now that I think of it, that film might have been a Weinstein.
Oh, a Harvey
Film.
Weinstein film.
I think I remember him being on set once.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that show was loaded. Chris Walken was on that.
How was that?
Oh my gosh.
He was phenomenal.
Does
He
he
was
dope as how he looks. Like,
dude. And he's Chris Walken just wherever. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like.
so
Even when you talk to him, just like like just offset. Hey,
That's how he
doing?
talks.
Yeah, he's
It is-
Chris Walken.
That
Yes.
is, he embodies himself. It's
He
real.
Cheeto.
does. I mean,
So okay, so you've obviously worked with so many great actors. Who's your favorite?
I think off the top of my head, I would say, and I didn't get to work directly with them necessarily per se, but John Lithgow,
Really?
4th season of
Ooh,
Dexter.
yes.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get
So
to Dexter
I
in a
mean, he
little bit.
was John Lithgow came on 4th season as the baddie, and from the moment he stepped on set, he was just like, "Yes, so nice to meet you," and like. I knew he'd watched every episode. He'd seen what he was like. He was just so supportive and just a stand up guy and just
Makes me happy.
And he did
'cause
the
he's-
best. I think that was the
He did
best
the-
season for me.
yeah,
The
no,
best,
yeah,
like, the
yeah.
killer
4th
was
season
there.
is like
That was a
1 and 4 is my
Trinity
favorite.
Killer.
But he was definitely the baddest baddie.
Yeah.
He just played like this, terrible person.
But it's
terrible dad.
believable that he was
So
That's
believable.
Why, that's why he's such a
but
good
he was
actor.
nice too, like his
Yeah.
alter whatever, like when he was just a normal person.
Yeah, his alter ego. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like you believe it. You'd be like, oh, that guy just seems like a normal dude. So that's
Yeah.
what it made it. And we grew up him as like Third Rock from the Sun. So it's just
Yeah.
even
Everything.
that mental
So
thing
many
in the back of
movies.
your head. It's so like, ugh.
Yeah, that guy can do anything.
Yeah.
Talk about a
Versatile
versatile actor.
Totally versatile.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one that I wanted you to talk about. So you had what was an audition or scene? Harrison Ford. Elaborate.
Oh, okay. That was my first professional
Yes.
gig in New York. So, I went to Yale for my master's. Okay. So, obviously, I grew up in Washington State. Went to college, a small art college called Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle for acting, and then I thought, why not? Why the hell not? Let me audition for grad schools, because eventually I still wanted to make film.
Yeah.
I was like, this acting thing is the train is it keeps going on. So I'm like, so I get into NYU actually, acting school, and then I get waitlisted at Yale. And last minute, Yale calls me up and they're like, there's a spot for you. So
Amazing.
like in August, it was like 2 weeks out, and so I ended up going to Yale, and it's a great experience.
Is Yale in Boston?
Yale's in New Haven, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah. That's where the birthplace of a pizza.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Pizza.
The pizzas over there are
Yeah,
really good.
Sally and Pepe's. And if you've never had it,
I've never.
it's a destination. You have to go there and have pizza from Sally's or Pepe's.
Connecticut. Pizza?
Connecticut pizza. That's
Would it be in New York? Wow.
no. This is like the birthplace of pizza.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
had
and
no
actually hamburgers too, because there's a little shack called Louis Lunch
Yeah.
Shack, and they give you a hamburger on toasted white bread.
Oh, that's
No ketchup,
hamburger on
no
toasted white
mustard,
bread.
and a little slice of onion. That's it,
little
bro.
slice?
And
Is
it's
it
good?
the one that was on the Food
It's
Channel?
so good.
They had like the little
yeah.
machine that comes like this, like an old school.
It's a vertical.
Yeah, vertical
grill.
machine.
All the
Oh,
fat drips
no.
down.
Yes.
It's definitely the best hamburger.
And they put on the white toast.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
my God.
so good.
That sounds good.
And
The
they,
dripping.
they have. It says like no ketchup allowed. None of that stuff. Yeah.
They've been around for like 100 years. Or something.
Yeah, the machine looks like it's been around
Yeah.
for centuries. Yeah.
So I did my master's there at Yale, great experience, and I moved to New York, which is when I met my first Asian American friends, right, as a 30-year-old. Right before I graduated, I was playing basketball and I tore my ACL.
Oh, jeez.
So at the end of graduation at Yale, I got surgery because it was the health insurance was still free. So I got, a renowned.
You're so lucky.
I
You
so
are
lucky, so lucky. I had
lucky.
this
Holy crap! You got your
famous
ACL
Yale
surgery for free.
orthopedic surgeon do my ACL, and so I moved to New York on crutches, right? And there shortly after, maybe 2-3 months, after I got a little better, I got my first gig, which was a film called Random Hearts with Harrison Ford and Kristen, not Dunst. It's no.
Yeah, she's not even.
No.
What is this Harrison Ford?
She's like a English actor. Very good actor. Anyways, that was my Harrison Ford story. That was my first professional gig, right? And it was one scene playing a diner guy who gives basically a sandwich to Harrison.
Okay.
Right right. And so.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do the scene
Yeah,
real quick.
Okay.
I'll be Harrison.
Yeah. So basically, there's a TV in the background with the news headlines of a plane crash in Baltimore, and he says to me, "Where is that?"
Where's that?
And then my line is, "In the Bay," and I give him a sandwich. So this is the first take. Ready? Go.
Where's that?
In the Bay. Scrunch, 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 scrunch. Brown paper bag, and I give it to you. That was my first take.
Get off my plane.
He's like, thanks, and he goes away. So in between that take and the second take, he goes, hey, come over here. I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm like, oh shit,
fuck.
oh shit. I'm like, it's Harrison. And he's like, and he'd introduced himself before. He's like, hey, when you give me the bag, present it to me. Don't scrunch it up. And I was
Why
like,
were you scratching it up?
a brown paper bag.
Why did you choose to scratch
Because
it
I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. Right.
committed.
I was so
committed.
nervous,
So
and
good,
as soon as he said that, I was like,
Duh.
yes. I was like, yes, Mr. Ford, of course. So the second take, I was like, I folded it up neatly, put a crease on it. I was like, down
is
in the
that?
Bay.
and you got cocky. His facial.
Okay.
Yeah, so it went much better.
How many takes?
Yeah, how many takes do you take?
I think we did 3 takes. That's it.
That's good.
You don't get much. You don't get much when you have like 1-liners, 2-liners.
They're like moving
Maybe I'll
on.
give you
Yeah,
a-
you don't. You don't get much unless like something in the background is sticking out. they're not going to give you another take. So you got to be ready on the first take.
That's an awesome story. Yeah, I actually can do. If you judge me on my Harrison Ford impression. Okay?
Oh yeah.
All right. So what's going on here?
I wasn't ready for that.
What's going on here, Chewie? Chewie, get off my plane.
Okay, I would say authentically a 6.0.
6.0.
If you hear it though, it sounds better when
we
you're
were hearing it.
No, when you listen. When you listen to it like on earbuds or whatever speaker headphones, so it's like
I
okay.
can't.
Anyways,
My face.
Gotcha.
okay.
Gotcha.
Here's my walk-in. Okay, since you worked with walk-in.
Yeah.
These are great.
2 mice
What? Did you
Two
say
mice.
2 mice?
fall into a vat of milk.
That's the last one you get, dude.
Ow! My CS. Thank you.
Oh.
I got one more.
Oh.
Hey Masuka.
Oh my God, who's
Hey
that?
Masuka. Hi. His carotid artery.
Oh, who's that?
Is it that bad?
That's Dexter?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, actually, yeah.
Don't say it's good. We caught it on camera.
No, you got the attitude right.
Right, yeah.
Like the
He
I'm
doesn't
bored.
care.
He doesn't
doesn't
care. Yeah.
He's like aloof,
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Well, going with Dexter, like since it's, I really want to talk to you about Dexter because, man, such a great show.
Yes.
8 seasons.
Yes.
You had such an amazing character on there. I mean, you played this lovable but kind of creepy,
Perverted.
perverted,
That's the
but
best way
charismatic.
to
Would have never worked now.
Charismatic.
I would
I was like, but it's funny now because like I know you, and then I started rewatching it, and I was like, damn, there wasn't a lot of acting.
Oh,
There's so much of you.
So that's what I was gonna say. Did you? Did they tell you this is how Masuka is gonna be, or did they say this is who he is, and he's kind of this and that, and you kind of added that flavor, or is it just like?
No. It's from the start, from the pilot, right? I was in New York when I got the pilot, and it says that in the description, and you could tell from the dialogue, obviously, and it just said he just laughs. It didn't say quirky laugh or whatever.
Yeah. So how did you come up with this laugh?
the laugh.
That's a very signature laugh.
Yeah.
You're
so,
known for this laugh.
So the laugh, basically, I came up with the laugh. It was based on a friend of mine. You might know John Fukuda, and Beavis and Butthead. So it's the mix of them, because Beavis and Butthead is like. And then
but yours is like a lot less.
Mine's more like,
yeah.
but it's like a lot. It sounds a lot like my friend John Fukuda, which I think you've met John Fukuda before. He's like a short Japanese cat, and he's a lot like Masuka. Actually,
that must help a lot because it's hard sometimes to come up with your own. But when you have someone to relate it off of, and then you can signature yourself.
That's most people do that.
Jess,
right?
I honestly believe, even the Greeks said there's no such thing as an original idea.
Agreed.
So
100%
everything's got to come from life. Because I mean,
yes.
you can think you might think it came from my imagination or a dream,
It still
but
stemmed from something else.
it's still the source comes from anything that's outside of you.
Very true.
So I'm a big believer in that, and so that's where the laugh came from, and so I did the audition once, and I did the laugh, and I could tell they were enjoying it. And I just read the scene once, right? It's the first scene with me and Dexter, the pilot episode. We're in the pool. Yeah. So that scene. So I do the scene, and they're like, "Oh, thank you," and they don't ask me to do it again. So I'm like, "Okay, I feel pretty good about it."
Okay.
And then I didn't hear anything for like 2 months.
Wow, that is like nerve-wracking.
So I thought it was dead. I thought it was dead.
No.
But in fact, what was happening was that they were looking. They were doing a wide search. They were looking everywhere, nook and cranny. And
That's a very important role.
Yeah, but they never told me I'm on the short list or anything like that. I was like, I just went about my life, and I just, kept hustling, and I thought, it was dead. And then one day, my agent calls, says, hey, pack your bags, you're going to Miami. 2 days later, I'm in Miami shooting the pilot. That's how it happened, bro.
Did
I was
you have
like,
to live out there once you got the pilot and once you got the show?
No, because we shot the pilot in Miami. And then Hurricane Katrina or Rita, I can't remember which, came through while we were shooting. And we had to hole up in our hotel room for like 2-3 days. And then we finished the pilot, and then Showtime was like, yeah, we can't get hurricane insurance, so we're going to move the show to Los Angeles.
Wow, you got
Wow,
so lucky because you have a family.
What the heck?
Well, this is before I met Laura.
Oh, this is before.
Of course,
Oh,
I was
yeah, you're
single.
So right.
I was
oh, wait.
single.
So there's
so
so
cheated.
many
I was
questions.
I was
I
looking
was
at
single.
I was
So many
looking at girls'
questions.
backs to see how great it became.
Oh my gosh, but wow. So you were you excited though for Miami, and then were you more excited to be in?
Oh, I had a
LA?
great time in Miami. Trust me.
Yeah, 'cause
Trust
Miami,
me. Yeah,
single.
Miami's great. I mean, strip
Where
clubs
did they
and
shoot in LA? I feel so cheated right now. Like I felt the humidity on this show.
yeah.
And
So
it's like it's all cheated. It was
yeah,
all-
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Long Beach and
Okay.
San Pedro.
Totally Long
You know,
Beach.
you know,
That's
you
so
know
much
the
better. It's totally
Long Beach,
Beach.
the aquarium.
Yes.
And there's that
whole
little
area.
town and the dock area.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Wow.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like
Yeah.
re-binging
Movie
it
magic
again.
here.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
Okay, so you get this audition, you're going there, a hurricane happens, you come to LA, and then what's that life like? Like,
I was crashing at my friend John Fukuta's apartment in Silver Lake, and I was single.
he's like-
Yeah, I was just like, I would get up in the morning and just sit
Watch his
in the
life.
chair and just watch him and study him. What are you doing? I'm like, nothing, bro.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's real
Say
good.
that
That's real
again?
good. Do that again.
No, honestly, actually, you're right. There's some truth to that because I was single, he was single, and we were just like, and I was on a hit show, and we would just go around to this was back in the head. This is 2007, 6 ish, and
It was like the club heydays.
the club heydays. We were,
Yeah. Oh
we
my
were going
gosh.
to whatever Asian
Supper,
events we could
We're
hit.
at Cabana,
Circle,
we're at Vanguard.
VR.
Oh my God, you're at the K Club.
Dang.
Gotta go
Yeah.
to the K Club,
No, I'm
though.
like, you're at the Hollywood Club. You're
Shut up,
like,
you were there
he's-
too.
I
You
know,
just didn't-
but I didn't have a choice. He's a movie star, TV.
Wow.
Like,
Nicolas
he's
Cage,
like,
he
went to a
he's
K
like,
Club,
I'm
right?
at, K, he's
Yeah.
like, I'm at VR.
So yeah, so I mean, I had a great time for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then I that's when I met Laura, my
Yeah.
wife, and
How was that?
Goodness, right?
Yeah.
yeah, thank goodness, because who knows what kind of route I would have taken.
How is that to be a working actor like that, and then meeting someone and trying to juggle having a relationship and having a career?
It was incredibly difficult because we started having babies right away, like within a year and a half, maybe after we met, and she wanted babies and I wanted babies, and it was a perfect match, and we both decided we were gonna have babies, but now we have 3 babies.
Yeah, 3 beautiful daughters. Yeah.
Three girls, and it's the best, but man, it's
You have 3
the
daughters?
toughest.
Yeah,
Last 10 years have been so incredibly difficult.
yeah, because it's not easy breathing.
And
children.
I'm lucky that she gave up her life and her career to take care of the kids,
Yep.
while I bring home the bacon. But it's still it's difficult for her and difficult for me too, just because we don't have one, we have 3.
Yeah,
You
of
know.
course, yeah. When you guys, okay, so how did you guys meet though? Like, you were in the scene, so like, how did it?
We had a
intertwine?
lot of mutual
friends,
friends, yeah, and
Was it at a
actu-
K Club though?
Yeah,
No,
was it-
no.
Did
You
she
know what I mean?
book? Did she book you?
with me?
Yeah.
No, but
bottle
I
of
do
Crown and-
remember-
Spill the tea.
I do remember when she first started talking to me. It was like at some Asian event. Do you remember that bar that was in downtown? It was called Blue or something. It was like north of Olympic. They had a pool there. It used to be like a hotel. I think it was called Blue something.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, we went there for an Asian event, and we'd met a few times before, same circle of friends.
Yeah.
And I see her outside smoking, by the way, back when she smoked. And I come outside, and she's like, just smiles and just looking at me. And she was
Aw.
wearing this like tight purple dress. And she just started talking to me, and she's like, are you going to go to the after party? I'm like, yeah, I think so. And she's like, okay, I'll see you there. And then we both go to the after party in Hollywood. Music's happening, and people are dancing, and she's like, you want to dance? I'm like, yeah, sure. So we start dancing, and then I realized that she dances like Elaine from Seinfeld.
No, you didn't. No,
She
you
did, and I
didn't.
tell her this too. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, you nailed that dance.
I mean, it wasn't like exactly like that, but she had a funky dance. I was like, who's this girl? She was this funky girl, man. I was like, and then shortly after that, my friend John invited Arden Cho, actually, who was friends with my wife at the time, for a friendly poker party at his house. And so it was Arden Cho and my wife Laura, and that was the first night. She was like, okay, I'm gonna. Well, my friend John tells this story. He's like, are you gonna tell Charlie to come to the poker game? And then John told me that. I was like, oh damn, this girl's got the hots for me. I was like, okay. So
well, if she didn't run you off with those dance moves, then she.
No, she didn't.
Isn't it nice when our wives used to be nice to us and
well,
loving and
we have like that gleam in our
they're like,
eyes.
really? Yeah, she invited you? Like, wow. Like,
are you gonna be
what
there?
Are you looking at? What are you looking
why
at?
are you here?
Let me
Don't you have to
rewind
go
a little
home?
bit with you though. Okay, so I know you found Laura and you're happily married with 3 kids. My biggest question is this: just listening to your whole story, being the only Asian growing up, challenges I personally had was always not being able to get other girls besides Asian girls.
Oh no, all my girlfriends up until 30 were white.
Dude, so
I
they
only
didn't-
dated white girls.
So they're like, I got the token boyfriend. He's the Asian one, like that. Or like, were you like a Pokemon limited
It was all
edition one?
research.
No,
Masuka.
no. I mean, every girlfriend I had from elementary, high school, college, grad school, they were all white.
So I want a big
Wow.
question was, did it shock you that you married an Asian person and it wasn't
Yeah.
a non-Asian person?
I mean,
because of how you were raised?
a little bit. I think once I moved to New York and finally found Asian American friends,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. This is like convenient. We can go eat, kimchi,
Relatable.
jjigae, and
And
then
not feel so weird.
And not
about
so,
it.
yeah, it's like,
Kimchi
oh, yeah.
around.
Damn, you
Not be
smell like that?
offended.
No,
Yeah.
I have some. But,
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
it felt like it almost felt. At first, it was a little bit intriguing. I was like, the first Asian girl I dated, she was from Korea in New York. She was kind of fob, yeah.
Wow, well, you went to the other end of the spectrum real quick.
Just happenstance.
Yeah,
It
'cause
was
you
a
can't-
friend
your
of a
Korean's
friend.
not like the
Yeah.
best.
And,
so
yeah, my
that
Korean's
has
not
to
the
be hard.
best. Yeah, and it was shocking. I was like kind of like, can I touch your skin?
Oh my God, you're
because it was so foreign to me.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
No,
so
understandable.
foreign to me.
Understandable.
But I never really just I just was never in a position where I had Asian friends. It just never happened.
No, I get
Well,
that.
now
No,
you have
I know,
all your
I
all
totally
Asian
get
friends.
that. I didn't have my first Asian friend since I was a freshman. I grew up with just a bunch
In
of
college,
no, in freshman in high school.
in high school.
I mean, but it's not until
So
30 years
yeah,
old,
but it's
yeah.
kind of similar.
Yeah, it's very
right?
similar.
Kind of similar.
Yeah.
10th grade, it's 11th grade.
No, so I see the challenges too, because like when I grew up, I got no other girl beside Asian girls. That's why
Oh,
I
really?
asked you. Like,
Yeah.
how was it? Like, were you that one person that couldn't? I'm just trying.
No, it just
there's
the Asian girls didn't like
girls.
me. I think I don't think so.
That's so
Oh.
interesting because, like, for me, I grew up military, and so I had every race, and I felt like all the races, white, black, Hispanic, everybody, they weren't that into me at all. Like, and I was a tomboy, so I just played that, like, whatever, I don't care. Then when I came here, it was like Asians were like, you're a unicorn because I'm mixed, but that was
Yeah.
so weird for me to get that kind of attention because I'm so used to people being like, you're Asian, racist, like you chink or
Yeah.
really racist to me
Right.
my whole life. Like
Right.
I played soccer, so I was like very tan, so I'd like play off like I'm Hispanic or whatever. Like, but yeah, it's interesting to finally get into your race and then
Yeah.
date that. Like,
Right.
that was very weird for
Yeah.
me to
Yeah.
date because my dad's white too, and
Yeah.
I wasn't raised by my mom, so I didn't have Asian like culture really
Right.
in my life.
Yeah.
And then once I came here and it was like learning Korean culture and like
Yeah.
doing holidays and like how it all worked. It was like it just kind of blew my mind. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine what
Yeah.
you went through though at such a later time in your life.
Yeah,
like,
much later.
30-year-old.
And I think part of that was, I was a little confused too. I was in denial.
Yeah.
I was of my Asian heritage, and I wasn't proud of my Asian heritage. I felt like that was something I was trying to run away from because I felt like, oh, I want to be part of the society, of this white
understandable.
society. I need to be. Those are my people.
Yeah.
My best friend is an Irish lad. Irish boy. Irish American, and I just felt like I didn't want to entertain the fobs that were around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds a little hoity-toity, but that's the way I felt.
It's,
No,
it's
that's
you
all
don't
right, but yeah.
you don't know better either. Huh?
Oh yeah,
I couldn't. I
Yeah.
was like, I thought if I dated a fob guy, like, how am I gonna talk to him? How am I gonna like,
could
be
touch his face. You
sincere?
could touch his
Yeah,
face.
I was like, how am I gonna? I'm just like, whatever, you know, like.
Cops can fight, man. Don't mess with them.
Well, oh my
In
god.
basketball.
That's such a
Yeah.
that's like a trigger for me. But
Oh shit. Okay.
But going
Okay.
back to so like with after when you're in LA, you're on Dexter. Like that was when you were on Dexter, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so like you met your wife during that time, but
Yeah.
were you getting a lot of attention from being on that show? Was it like
Yeah,
hard to
no,
kind
for
of
sure,
navigate
for
through
sure,
it?
for sure. I mean, that's what that show put me on the map and helped my career it paid a lot of bills. It went 8 seasons.
Yeah, Ace is long.
Would you say that was
at
one of your
time.
favorite roles to play?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think it might have been in maybe season 3 or 4. I straight up went to Michael C. Hall and I was like, bro, I got a family now and kids. Please don't kill me off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you were
I
my
said that.
favorite.
He laughed, but I don't know.
Serious.
It worked.
Yeah.
I stayed another 4 years.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
Masuka. You don't break the law, so I won't kill you.
Hey, I kind of get it there,
He'll
but
be
We
proud.
found
So-
it-
so
the
Maybe
Asian
he'll watch
Dexter.
this
with
and he'll
that,
comment.
I was gonna get a red wig and everything, but Amazon, I
Thank you for not doing that.
But all the seasons, 8 seasons. Who was
Yeah.
your favorite killer?
No, I already said this. It was John Lithgow.
Okay, so my
Yeah.
favorite was the Trinity Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys all
same.
Same.
I love
Yeah.
John
You watched
Lithgow.
up
He
until
killed
then?
it.
You gotta watch it. It's really great.
Well, right now it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it
So
just
you
dropped
can
on
just binge
Netflix.
the crap out of it.
And I heard
Yeah.
Especially now that you know him, it's like
Yeah.
even more fun.
Are they trying to rewrite another season?
Oh yeah, there's
Okay,
there's
so-
a Dexter prequel shooting now, where Dexter is in his 20s,
Okay, teens.
early no,
Or
late
20s,
teens, late
okay.
teens.
With his dad, is that the whole thing? Like
And his dad too, and then there's a younger version of Masuka, played by Alex Shimizu. He's a Japanese American actor, great. He knows a laugh, and so they're shooting right now, and it's gonna come on Showtime.
So
Fairly
there's
soon.
nothing that's gonna come back to the original story because they did that 10 episode one on like
During COVID,
Yeah, during
they
COVID,
did.
yeah.
It was like what was it called? Blue.
Legacy
Blood-
or something.
blood-
blood legacy or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't see it.
I watched it. It was
I didn't see it. I wasn't part of it. They didn't ask me. It's fine. I was busy doing other things. But I mean, it's Dexter is I'm eternally grateful for that show because it put me on the map. Honestly, like I don't know what my career would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty confident I would have been still working this and that. But Dexter definitely put me on the map to the point where the casting directors are like, oh yeah, C.S. Lee. We know who he is.
Yeah.
Which can be a detriment too with the whole typecasting because for the longest time after Dexter, they're like, yeah, you're gonna be playing the scientist. He's a little nerdy.
Yeah, because you look at your
Come on,
roles
dude.
after that. It is. a
Yeah,
bunch
it's just
of
like, but
that, yeah.
it's like that's what Hollywood does. They
Yeah, they
fucking
do.
typecast you, and this is like,
Well, they keep you on the wave. Like if you're
Yeah.
doing well and there's that,
Yeah.
that's a blessing in a way too.
Right.
Because at least you're booking stuff. They know you can do it. So you're.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
some of it? Did you have to audition for a lot of things afterwards, or did you just get roles because they already knew
both,
you from
both,
Dexter?
both,
Yeah,
both. Yeah. Even to this day, I'm still auditioning. Like I gotta go on tape too. But a lot of times, like for Warrior, I didn't have to. Did I? I can't remember.
That role was so good.
I
That was
actually
such a
have a
good role
funny
for
story.
you.
I went to Kogi Jeep yesterday, and it's the one. I'm not gonna say the name because I'll get in trouble by the Hungs, but it's the one that does asado. in
I know what you're
Cape
talking
Town.
about.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the best
We're not
one.
gonna say the name,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, she gave me she gave me shit for gatekeeping, but I told her I wouldn't anymore. But she was like, yeah, we get a lot of like stars in here, like famous people, and then my wife was like, oh, who comes in? And she was like, C S Lee, right?
She did
And
not
Dot
name
S.
me.
I swear to God,
Yes, Dot.
how do you
C
say
dot
Dot? How do you
S
say
Lee.
Dot in Korean? Like C
Jum.
yeah, C Jum S Jum Lee, right? And then my wife's going, oh my God, he's coming over to our house like tomorrow.
That's
And I
hilarious.
thought she would freak out more, but she was like, oh yeah, he comes here like
All the
And
time.
then she kept on moving on, like
'Cause
moving on,
he's
yeah.
so-
And I was just like, yeah, that's the smallest world. The one person that she's like, yeah, people like famous people come here, and then she said your name. I was like, yeah, he's famous in my book, man, for sure. Like I'm a huge fan of yours. So, and that's one other thing. I met you in Blue, and you were
Yeah,
always so super cool.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah. I meet a lot of people at Blue.
Yeah.
That's my.
I have never come across
That's-
that blue yet.
That's
That's
why
so
we were
weird.
shocked
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we're
Bro,
like, how
stay
do you
away,
not
stay
know-
away.
Yeah, of course.
No, he knows, but
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. So you're already typecasted to a certain whatever it is, like a laboratory person, right? What would be the next role you want to get into? If you get a chance to.
Well, I mean, I'm always about the material. You know, the material's got to be good.
Good.
So
I appreciate you saying
obviously, I'm getting a little older now, so a lot of my roles I'm going out for are dads and
Okay.
fathers, which is weird. I mean, not weird because I am a dad, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, it still feels foreign to me, you know. But you know, this role I'm playing on For All Mankind is a great role
You're
for
freaking
me.
North Korean astronaut.
I'm the first person to
badass.
Mars. I mean,
Yeah.
What's
I'm
dope is that it's the revisionist story, like tale.
yes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the man on the high castle.
Yes,
right?
yes,
That was
same.
kind of like
yeah,
similar vibe.
Same, yeah,
Yeah.
same. And you know, these guys, they did Battlestar
Battlestar
Galactica.
Galactica.
Yeah,
Oh.
same people. So
Oh, sweet.
That makes
So
sense.
sci-fi.
It's a sci-fi.
yeah, sci-fi.
Okay.
It's a great cast. It really is. It's that's the other thing. It's like if you could be on a great show, but if the cast isn't great,
Yeah,
It
that's what I was
doesn't-
gonna say. Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't. I'll be. You know, I won't talk about it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like Joel Kinnaman is freaking great actor. He's a great person. You know, there's so many people. Joel Kinnaman. He did.
Oh, he's a robot.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He seems like a nice
Okay,
guy.
okay.
Yeah, and he also did a series that like took place in I think Seattle called The Killer or something. Like 10, 12 years ago. That's the
and
first
he also
role.
did the Suicide Squads too, right? He was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. He's
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. Yeah. He's what is he? He's Swedish.
Yeah, he's Swedish.
Swedish.
I think he's
Yeah, and
I
he's
think
fluent
so.
Swedish.
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. Yeah,
Scandinavian.
but he's a
He's one
super
of
nice
those-
guy. Super nice guy, and you know, a lot of my scenes are with him on this show, and we just totally vibe and have so much fun together.
Yeah,
so
you guys look like you have good
it's-
chemistry.
yeah.
And that is important because, like Dexter too, it's like your whole
Yeah.
cast, you guys vibed. You can tell.
it's just
You guys
everyone
all
vibes. Everyone
yeah.
vibed. I mean, even you know
Who was
me
the
and
best one though? Who was like the most fun? Let me guess. I always thought it was what's the name? The
Batista?
Yeah, Batista for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
I think
for
he's
sure.
Seemed like he was the
You're
for
best
sure.
friend.
But no, honestly, I vibe with Batista. I vibe with Deborah, with Michael. Just off the bat, that's you know those would be my top three. LaGuardia always hated me, so she you know her character always hated me. As you know,
funny.
I
Yeah.
did-
But she,
you know.
was she cool? Like, like
Oh no,
yeah,
no,
Swedish,
she
like-
yeah. As an
Spider-Man's
actor,
mom, dude.
she's
I know, but still,
she's
because
she-
some people they embody that and then they kind of keep to that as well. Like people don't have to care just because they're on the set with you doesn't mean they're invested into you. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
get that. Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no, totally.
So you've like, and I forgot you're like on True Detective. You've been on everything. So, you know, not to be negative, but like of everything that you've been a part of, what was something that was like not your vibe and you did it, you came in, you handled it, but like counting the minutes to where you didn't have to be a part of like that energy.
No, definitely. I've had a few different roles where I thought maybe I wasn't cast right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna necessarily name it, but I think any actor who has done enough years, 20 plus years,
Yeah.
you have those roles where you're like, oh yeah, I'm just doing it because I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily enjoying it, the material, or I don't think I'm necessarily cast correctly, but I'm doing it right. So that definitely happens. But I will say one of the worst auditions I ever had
Okay.
was it never got made. There was this movie that was supposed to be made about North Korea.
Okay.
This was back in the time. This was maybe 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Back when they had that sort of Hollywood had that fascination with North Korea.
Yeah.
And this was before
The interview.
the interview. Yeah, this was the original script that was going around. And so I go into this casting office, and this basically there's no there's no script, there's no right. And I go in there, and she's like, "Okay, you're just gonna put on this mask." And this assistant had made like a 8 by 10, 11, 8 by 8.5 by 11 mask with just like a face of a gorilla on it,
A gorilla.
like a monkey.
A monkey?
Yeah, and she was like, "Just put on this," and it was like literally just like a
Piece of
rubber
paper
band,
with
piece of
rubber-
paper with a rubber band on it. She's like, "Can you put this on and we just want you to dance around like a monkey."
Shut.
I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, for 5 seconds, I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay.
You're like, you pranking me right now?
I was like,
get the fuck out of here.
Okay. And then I started to go to the mask, and I started to put on the mask, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, I can't fucking do this. I was like, I took the mask off. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think this is me. And I was like, she's like, and she was a little offended 'cause, she was kind of
Yeah.
a high upper there, and I was like, I'm not. If you want me to dance like a monkey, you can imagine me dancing like a monkey. I don't need to do this for you. And she was like, and I fucking walked out. I was like, fuck this.
Good
I
job.
was like, what?
Yeah.
No, what
You can't imagine me dancing like a fucking monkey?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
But you need me to do that for you.
Yeah,
with
you
this
need to
mask,
see.
like,
You need to
get outta here.
videotape this.
Yeah.
What is that? It's like what? I was like,
The mask though, for sure, like dance. I get it, maybe, but like to put the stupid mask on, like it's
It
not
made
gonna-
no sense.
But
It's not
to
gonna
make it,
you
made-
more like
but,
a monk. Yeah.
But like that's like a phrase to dance like a monkey too. It's
For
like
sure,
it's to
yeah.
be,
It's too on the nose.
It just
yeah, way
dude,
too on the
it's-
nose. So it's like, damn, I can't believe you had to go through that. But I'm proud of
and then
you.
you have to go back.
You walked out.
Do you
Yeah.
validate?
Thank you.
That would be such a good scene.
I would never.
That'd be like in the bookie, right? He'd be like, oh, but do you validate?
You talked about the bad and good.
Yeah.
For our viewers that are young, inspiring actors, what would be things that you would suggest that they do, big no-nos?
Oh God.
I mean, that's a very vague question, but
Yeah.
just to normalize, let's say like you're going to you're going to audition.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are things that you would say to keep reminding
Don't
yourself?
do.
Don't
Don't
do and then do as well, like to give you
Okay.
confidence.
Okay, well, first off, off the bat, as an actor, you got to do the work. You can't just, and if you don't know how to do the work, you better fucking take some classes,
Yeah,
to
classes
know
is
how to
key.
do the work. You got to know how to break down the scene. You got to know how to make a choice. Okay, you're an artist. You have to be purposeful in your choices because you think that's the best choice for this script, this character. First off. Second off, don't be fake. Just be you. Don't overcompensate. Don't over brown nose. Just be you and your generous self. When you meet people for the first time, even if you're, a little bit of an introvert like me, you got to put on something, but not fake, but be
It's genuine.
genuine and graceful about it. Like, oh, nice to meet you. You don't have to be like, so nice to meet you. Oh my God. I've always wanted to come to this office.
Is
You're
that
my
a line?
favorite
Put it down a little
casting
bit, right?
director.
Yeah,
I followed you since I was a baby.
yeah. That's so
Don't be
funny.
like that.
Shirt is so blue.
I
Amazing.
just you know what I mean. Just be real, be genuine, right? And I mean that's it, bro. That's the key to life. Is just be real, be genuine, and just do the work. You can't fake this shit.
Yeah.
You can't fake it.
Did you ever like phone in like an audition and then thinking that you weren't gonna get it and then you actually got the
Oh
part?
yeah, probably. I've definitely done a few auditions where I literally, the longer you do this, like the more efficient I become.
Yeah.
And I'll sometimes surprise myself where like I'll get an audition and like I'll read it, even the description. I'm like, I know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't even have to work at it. It just I can just read it and be like. So I mean, to me, that's kind of phoning it in. But I'm always doing some work on it, at least like in my mental mind calculations of like, okay, what's the story? Who's this guy? What's he want? What's in the way? There's no story where I'm like, oh, I just like, say my lines from a cue card and then.
Okay, big one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of course, you're Korean.
Yeah.
And of course, I know it's North Korean, but
Yeah.
it's still very different
Yeah.
in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, how do you prepare for this? How do
Do
you,
you have to
how do you
learn
get there?
change the dialect like when?
Yeah, I have to learn North Korean dialect, which is incredibly difficult. And there's a dialect coach. And when I first did it in season 4, the end of season 3, the last episode, I had to learn all that, and it was very difficult, and I was very conscious about it. But yeah, it's I'm not the best at doing accents,
Yeah.
Per se, but it's like anything. You just have to sort of submerge yourself in it, and just I'm just every day I'm kind of like hearing it, and practicing it, and
Do you like listen? Do you like say it into
Yeah,
something
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you listen to it over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
over again?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. But I'm also doing the work too, because when it comes down to the day, when you're in front of the camera, you can't just repeat what you
Yep.
kind of learned.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be like a robot actor. You got to be present with the people that are around you.
Yeah.
So you still have to do the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, this role is incredibly difficult for me. It's not
so
easy.
difficult.
And I no, because like who's met anyone from North Korea? Like no one. right? I mean, no one's.
Actually,
You miss it.
My grandma's from North Korea.
I know, but have you ever like met?
No.
Let's say met
You know,
someone
in
Well, I
after
walked in
in
Cafe
modern
Blue.
North
That's like,
Korea.
hey, I'm from North Korea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those
nobody
motherfuckers
just hangs out.
Yeah.
they're
Like
all
a-
in hiding. They, you know, they
hell
could be
yeah.
assassinated at any
Yeah.
point. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my dad's side is, you know, we lost a few his brothers from the war too, from North Korea.
Because
too,
our
you know?
families were all.
But like, but no one really knows,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like how they really sound. And so, anyways, yeah, you know, I have a dialect coach, and
Okay.
and
So you have a coach as well. Okay.
yeah.
So that helps.
Can you give us an example of how
Yes.
it's different?
God,
Give
it's
us
just
a
like,
line.
it's like, what do they say? You know, like,
Jeon Ju.
동무, 수준 마시나. You know, just like it's a little bit. They're a little sing-songy. You know,
It kind of
Oh,
sounds like
sing-songy.
a
I like
satori.
it too.
Yeah.
Sounds
it's
like
just
satori.
satori, but it's more like, it's like 동무, 네 개.
So it's elongated.
우리 좀 술 좀 마시라. You know, it's just like
수였어. 이거 잘했어.
You held the. This was amazing. Just thinking about all of the years that you've been doing this, and then right now you're going to premieres. You just did Avatar Roku. You had to have hair and a beard. Like you're on Cobra Kai, and you're kicking ass there, and you're working your butt off, and you know we appreciate you being here and making time for us. And
oh my god, are you guys gonna give me an award? Because now I feel really old.
you get a piece of cheese.
Yay!
I haven't seen Dexter.
Yes.
And also, I'm gonna do Dexter and Chill.
Yeah,
There you go.
because
Oh, there you go.
Dexter's
Or
so
CS and
good.
Chill. CS and Chill.
Dexter.
It's so
Dexter
good.
is the best to watch.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I heard great
We're
raves.
late,
Of, yeah.
trust me, 'cause it's be like-
I mean, it's one of those things on my list. My cousin actually binged it in 2 days.
Yeah.
He's the firefighter when I was here.
Binged.
No, but I guarantee you, if you binge the first season, you know it's there are 50-minute episodes in a 1 hour. But the first season is one of my favorites. Too.
Yeah, it's
Is that
well,
first season,
those are
fourth season is probably my
basically
top
your
two.
pilot season. Yeah,
You know,
it's
the Ice
so
Truck
good.
Killer and all that.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
As we're like coming to an end, before we leave, we would love it if you could just give us a Masuka laugh.
Masuka laugh.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need a
Oh,
Masuka
God.
laugh.
Or how about
Okay.
you take us out?
Yeah,
Thank
take
you
us
for
out
watching
to loud. Yeah.
Conversations,
Okay.
And then do the.
Okay.
Alright.
First, let's cheers to this.
Well, cheers to Conversations.
And your first podcast.
My
Podcast.
first podcast. Well, Conversations. That could have been more original name. Conversations. Good God.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me, Ryan, Sung. You are Sung, not
Yes.
Sang. Sung.
That's all.
Sung Sang. Sang is my
our
dad.
friend.
My
Oh,
dad's
yeah.
name. My
Yeah.
dad's name too.
Oh.
And Jess, thank you guys for having me. This is probably one of the most richest podcasts I ever attended with crackers and cheese and what I thought was caviar, but is actually blackberries.
It's the caviar of the fruit world.
So thank you guys so much for having me. I had a great time. Sung, you need to work on your acting skills.
Yes. I do.
And Ryan, you're gonna work on the Michael C. Hall
Yes,
impersonation,
I will.
right? And Jess, you're gonna be beautiful as ever. I mean,
Yes.
sweet and beautiful, and well, maybe you'll have a another kid. I don't know. We're gonna have another kid, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll see.
okay. All right. Well, then the DPD is a very lucky man.
Yes.
There you go. That was a laugh. I
That
just
was a laugh.
did it. I just did it. I
love
just did
it.
the laugh.
Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping
Thank
by.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
cheers.
for letting us pop your
Cheers.
podcast, Cherry.
Yes. Yes.
Peace,
We
guys.
appreciate
Yes.
you. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Conversations_pod at YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.